Hey team, what's up? How we doing, guys? We doing good? Making it through the winter? Oof. My name is Carissa, if you don't know me. I am a dancer, choreographer, digital storyteller. I went to the University of Arizona, graduated with a BFA in dance, BSBA in marketing, and then I went and danced on a cruise ship for the past 7 months with Royal Caribbean Entertainment, which was super fun. I had a blast. Today I just want to talk about things that I think every dancer performer should know before getting on the ship. First thing I want to talk about is Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is very slow and it's not super reliable. So I never was able to use my computer on the Wi-Fi. Only device I was able to use was my phone, just because I don't know if the computer is too much for the Wi-Fi that we're allocated for crew. For us, it was $4 for an hour of Wi-Fi. Everything goes by minutes. I think every 7 days we were given free 120 minutes. So every week you had 120 minutes you could use for free. That goes very quick. Also because the Wi-Fi is slow, so the minutes kind of run out quickly as you're just waiting for things to load. I always downloaded YouTube videos, Netflix, and then I would log into the Wi-Fi only when super necessary. Of course, I'd let myself do a little doom scroll every once in a while, but the doom scroll takes a little bit of time because the Wi-Fi doesn't work that well. Most of the time when I was logging into Wi-Fi, it was usually to do work for Vail or to see a photo that my mom sent me from home, because you get free messaging on WhatsApp, but if someone sends you a photo, sends you a video, you don't get to see that till you're on Wi-Fi. Same thing I think with a voice note, you also need to be on Wi-Fi. Definitely a downside, but kind of nice to be off the grid. I kind of liked it. It kept me from being too caught up in social media and spending too much time on my phone. It really helped me be in the world. I will say I did log into Wi-Fi a couple times to get Candy Crush lives. That is something I did. Once you receive your contract, you have quite a lot of paperwork to fill out and medical screening to go through before you actually get approved to be on the ship. I got my contract end of March, and I did not get my medical completely finished, approved, signed. I did not get my certificate until the last week of May. It can be a pretty extensive process. It's not that extensive for everyone. Just try to find the cheapest option because it can be super expensive, near $1,000 to get your whole medical done. To keep it on a little dance note, rocky performances, rocky nights, rocky shows. It's very real. It is very annoying. You definitely learn to kind of dance with the flow of the ship, but it can get super rocky. We had quite a few rolled ankles. Make sure you're getting those ankles strong. I always did a lot of ankle exercises before every show, a lot of core stability. Obviously you can't predict everything, but it is worth it to get that stability strong. If you're looking into doing a cruise ship contract, you probably know a little bit about the cabins, the living accommodations. I lived in a shared cabin bunk bed without a porthole. You could sleep through the entire day and not realize it. It was very tight, very, very small, smaller than my dorm freshman year. Get limited wardrobe space, a mini fridge, and barely even a desk. I mean, calling it a desk is kind of generous in my opinion. You do have a little bit of counter space, and you have a tiny little bathroom where basically you could sit on the toilet, take a shower, and brush your teeth all at the same time. I didn't mind it too much. Definitely takes a certain individual to enjoy that, but I had a mattress topper on my bed, and that actually helped a lot. My bed was super cozy. My twin XL top bunk was super comfortable, so I will say that. And you get curtains to open and close your bunks, so that's nice as well. You typically don't have a porthole unless you're in a higher position. Definitely can get into a little bit of a routine of not seeing the sun if you aren't careful. There aren't a lot of crew areas that have daylight. I always tried to go on a walk because we are allowed to use the jogging track, and that's how I'd get some fresh air and some sunlight. The ship water definitely does a number on your hair. I actually went to get my hair glossed in Port Canaveral on a turnaround day, and she basically was like, the gloss isn't even working because your hair's so dead and so damaged from the ship water that I can't even help you and you need a haircut bad. My ends, which you might have seen in last week's video, were so bad. Split ends galore. The ship water is chlorinated, so washing it in that can obviously cause some problems. Also, I was using so much product in my hair every day for shows. I would touch Like I would run my hand through the back of my hair. It felt like there was product, just like so much product buildup. Even when my hair was like, I was scrubbing it clean, like using clarifying shampoo, like detox, expensive stuff, trying whatever I could to get my hair to like come back to life, and it was just like not. Safety responsibilities. As a dancer on a cruise ship, you have the wonderful responsibility of making sure that all the guests are safe and prepared. When you work on a cruise ship, no matter what position you're in, safety is your number one responsibility. Immediately you get on the ship on sign-on day and it's like safety training. Boom. The first thing we did, we were doing install for our shows, and we had 8 a.m. like safety trainings the whole first week because we had to get certified in like crowd management. We had to flip a life raft, which was pretty fun. Firefighter training. We also do lifeboat filling. So I think it's like quarterly, you do a lifeboat filling, which is a little bit claustrophobic. Just little random things like that. We work Mustard 2.0 on turnaround day, which basically just means giving a safety briefing to the guests to ensure that they know what to do in the case of emergency, letting them know where medical is, all of that. We have drills every cruise just to know what to do in the case of emergency, and in the case of emergency, you would be in charge. So yeah, it's super informative. I was a muster station leader on my ship, so that means I was in charge of one of the muster stations. For me, it was D18. So in the case of emergency, I would be in charge of the guests that were sent to D18, and then 5 or 6 crew members that were my teammates as well, and I had an assistant leader as well. Next thing kind of depends on your specific ship, but a good thing to note before you get on your ship or accept your contract or whatever stage you're at is the itinerary and what this schedule would look like. Depending on the itinerary, if you're doing 10-day, 12 days, of course you're not going to be performing as much as you would on a ship that only does 3 days. How many shows you have will depend on the itinerary of the ship. That also will determine how much free time you have. Ships with shorter cruise lengths will have less free time than ships with longer cruise lengths as well. Oh, the food, the beautiful mess. Of course, depends on the ship you're on again. The mess is an interesting place. Just think about trying to feed that many people from all over the world, and you only have so much food and so much money. The thing that bothered me the most about the food was that the variety just wasn't there. It didn't switch up really ever. You're kind of eating the same thing over and over. It can get pretty bland and boring. So my advice was always to get off if you could, even if you had just an hour, get off, get some food. Also, it's important to note that there is not a lot of fruit on board. Getting bananas, getting blueberries, getting strawberries was like a celebration. It was not common. It was pretty rare. You have very strict rules on the ship. So this is set in place again to keep everyone safe. Of course, we have cabin inspections. There's a lot of rules about what you can and cannot bring on the ship. So that's more of just like a fire hazard. No irons, no coffee machines, all that kind of stuff. There are quite a few rules about where you can and cannot go on the ship, just to not interfere with guests and guest area. So for us, it was always, if we were going to be going to guest area for any reason, we had to be in our blues during the day and then in smart casual or formal at night. We were allowed to go to the specialty restaurants. We just had to reserve in advance, and typically we would eat pretty late at those restaurants. You are on a ship, you are not on land, so you don't have the opportunity necessarily that you would to build a career in a city. So networking can look a little bit different. You don't have that in-person advantage, and making those connections is just difficult, and you sometimes feel like you're kind of stuck. My best advice for that was always to just keep in touch. Make sure you're keeping their portfolio, your profiles updated, and trying to dance as much as you can also outside of the show, and working on yourself because you have to be super disciplined. And I want to end it off with just some great things that I kind of picked up from the ship. Performing is so fun. Truly an awesome job if you're looking to just perform and you've got that itch and you just want to scratch that performance itch. This is the gig for you. I absolutely loved performing the shows. It's just so much adrenaline. You get to perform for so many different people. It's truly an awesome feeling. Super incredible, super unique. And then traveling, of course. I mean, you wake up and you're in a different place. So it's a great way to see some different parts of the world. Getting off and having fun days in port of places I would probably never ever go to if I wasn't on the ship. The money is wonderful. You are able to save a lot when you're on the ship because you don't have a ton of expenses. You're not paying rent, you're not paying for food. So saving is real easy on the ship if you're not spending your money on stupid things. Or you have the opportunity to meet so many amazing people, so many new people, and really get friends all over the world. And with that, that's all I've got to say for right now. Thank you guys so much for watching, for listening, and tuning in, seeing what I've got to say. If you're about to start a contract, good luck and have so much fun. If anyone else has any more questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments below, or you can DM me on Instagram at Carissa Dances. I try to respond. Pretty soon I won't be here anymore in this room. So stick around for that, and have an awesome day. Talk soon. Peace. We always have weekly classes.